All right, let's talk about it. The Menendez brothers. I'm old enough. I think I was about a junior or senior in high school when the whole thing went down. And I remember, we didn't have what we had now, like, internet or, working motor vehicles. There were no schools. They were just, little stone huts where, a one eyed Egyptian woman threw stones and told us to count them. And that was, eventually after we did that several times, we graduated. It was the time before phones. We just yelled out the window, "Hey, is Bob home? Is Bob home?" If you had to do long distance, then what you had to do is yell to another window to get it maybe. So like me calling Sexy Monkey in England back in like 1992, it took like going through like 500 different people yelling from one window to another window to get the message to him. But it was an ancient time. But no, seriously, we didn't have as many news options, and there was Twitter, internet wasn't a thing, anything like that. So when I look back now, things were presented to us as being a certain way, and that's what it was. There was no room for interpretation. There was no. All we had were these like little gossip shows. Like they were the worst pieces of crap, and they produced the worst pieces of crap. Like one of them was run by Bill O'Reilly, the angry grandpa who yells at kids to get off his lawns and probably puts razor blades and apples on Halloween. He ran one, and there's a famous thing of where he gets pissed off and just, "We'll do it live. Fuck it, we'll do it live." Yeah, gotta love big nose schnoz grandpa there. He was a PC for police for a while too. Remember, until he mentioned that to some like intern of his, he wanted to like loofah her vagina until it bled or something. I don't know what it was. And then all of a sudden he's like, "Oh, they paid her a bunch of money," because that's what innocent people do. They pay a bunch of money when they're accused of something horrible. If I was accused of sexually harassing somebody or something like that, I know if I didn't do it, I'm gonna pay them money. All right. So the Menendez brothers back in the day were presented. I just got all the information from these short clips on these shows that would be just playing on in the background as these ultra rich boys who were just little snobs. They would show, always pictures of them happy and, holding each other like this, and, tennis rackets and their cars and all this. And then they had shot their parents. And it's because they were rich little shits. They didn't appreciate anything. They're just rich little crap. And then, supposedly, we got molested by our dad. We got molested by our mommy. Our cat once licked our butt. There was some of that back then, but it was overwhelmingly didn't focus. It let you watch Court TV. Remember Court TV if you were around for back in the day? Court TV was the bomb. Court TV did not hold anything back. Court TV was the entire trial. We're talking OJ. Talking, what was that Kennedy guy who was molesting some woman? What a surprise there. Kennedy doing something weird. Court TV, I'm sure if I'd watched the whole thing, and now in hindsight, actually, I wish I would have. I wouldn't have made such a rash opinion, although I was only 16. I had a lot of dumb opinions back then, trust me. But I agreed when you kept hearing and seeing the way it was presented, it became to you, oh, these are just two rich, white, little, Hispanic or whatever they are, guys who are just, they're spoiled brats. They wanted their parents' fortunes, so they blew them away. That's what happened. I'm not going to feel sorry for them. And this is, this other stuff is a ploy, because they would only show little tiny clips of them crying. Sometimes not. I actually don't remember seeing clips of them actually breaking down back then. I don't remember seeing that. That wasn't heavily presented before you. It was the cars, it was the money, parents dead, they wanted money. That's what was kind of just focused on, was the greed aspect, or that must have been it. And then all these years later, the truth comes out. First through a mini series by, what's his name, Ryan Reynolds, I don't know, Ryan Gosling, somebody made a mini series. It's the guy who does American Horror Stories and all those, like semi-fictitious accounts of stuff that really happened. But I'll get to him in a second. But then you really start seeing the clips of these guys, of relatives that are like, oh yeah, well, he had to use ketchup a lot when he was 14. That was to get the taste of his father's semen out of his mouth. Yeah, it was really bad for them. Where were these people back then? What the hell? And seeing their entire testimony now of what their demonic possessed, that's all I can attribute it to, parents did to them. I mean, not just physical abuse, sexual abuse from not only the father, but the mother as well. And this is now, it's just pretty much, it's the truth. It's substantiated by a lot of people. You can't fake the emotion I saw when I finally started digging into this and watching them on the stand. The hurt, the terror, the disgusting things that their father started having them do to them at the ages of 7, 16, fine. But no, it's my channel. You know what I do. Okay, I'm joking. Obviously, it's never okay. But I'm saying, and then, going, I had never heard the depths of how bad these people were. This couple, their parents, I mean, they made like freaking Kim Jong-un look like, a Girl Scout. I don't know. They would have been great running another country and just killing people and shit like that. I mean, I didn't know. I guess the kid, when he was like 14 or something like that, that shows you someone is stressed out and something's really wrong like that. Already going bald. But he had a tube. He had a tube at like, I think it was 14, 15, 16, something like that. No one had a tube at 14, 15, 16. Something is very, very wrong if you have a tube at 14, 15, 16. Either you have, some kind of cancer or something, and God hope you get better, or your dad is putting a toothbrush up your hoo-hoo in the back and twisting it around and then laughing for fun. What the fuck? And then the bitch mom decides one day when she's mad to rip it off his freaking head because she didn't like his girlfriend. Yeah, because she was tighter than you, and she wasn't you. She wasn't blood related, so they probably had a problem with it. They disagreed with a certain girl he wanted to marry or go out with. Yeah, because that meant, well, what about us? I mean, we're getting you laid. Between mom and me, it's constant, so I don't know what you're bitching about. And then, so I had to take it with a grain of salt and watch one documentary, which was, just focused on them. And then, it's the Ryan Murphy thing, which, here's my problem. Ryan Murphy wants to make everything gay porn. Okay? He wants to make everything gay porn. This is should be a serious mini-series about a serious incident. I'm not saying he didn't, go over the serious incidents, but there's, you know what I mean. They're almost shirtless in every scene. There's one scene where they supposedly have some kind of relations with each other, and they're like, that never ever happened. And even the poster, I remember one of the reasons I didn't watch the Menendez Brothers things on Netflix was this poster of them both bare-chested, kind of looking like, giving like a little sexy, like, ooh, we could be bad. You know what I mean? I would expect that if it was, I don't know, Anal Rangers 4 or something like that. I was like, what the fuck is this shit? And then apparently, again, he did this with, like, I think Ryan Murphy, he did that thing Feud with Betty Davis and Joan Crawford's Fables Rivalry, played by Susan Sarandon, and, oh God, who was the other one? Jessica Lange. And it turned out, I loved that series. I later on found out half of it was bullshit. I mean, some of the stuff really did happen, but it was not linear, or this person wasn't there when this happened, because, when you're doing some kind of autobiographical thing, facts don't matter. I mean, they might as well have set the Menendez brothers in the year, I don't know, 2075, and, had them, like, running away from their dad in the spaceship. I mean, that's the kind of shit he does. They have to be shirtless and oiled up, too, of course. But after seeing all this, my God, going through what they went through, physical abuse, mental abuse, some of this, I highly watch any documentary aside from Ryan Murphy's on them. Like, that shows what nightmares. The fact, this should tell you everything you need to know. That when they were looking for character witnesses, one person on the entire planet to, like, the prosecution side to say something nice about Daddy, couldn't find one person. I could find one person to say something nice about me. Stevie held a gunpoint. But, I mean, no, I could find one person. I could find 2, maybe 3 to say something okay about me. If you, and I don't know that many people. This was a businessman, a mogul. He knew a lot of people. The fact they couldn't find one freaking person to say something nice about him lets you know that he has the devil's tail growing out of his rectum. All right? I just, and now when I'm the age I am now, thinking about, I mean, I don't know how much older they are than me. I think they were probably in their 20s when this happened. I don't remember. But all the years that they spent in jail and all this preconceived notion I always had of them whenever I heard their name brought up, up until this year. Oh yeah, those spoiled brats killed their family and stuff like that. The fact that they went to jail when they'd gone through enough, why we're even at this point deciding, should we have another trial? Shouldn't we have another trial? Let them go. They did the world a favor blowing them away. They would have done horrible shit to other kids possibly, or who knows, a pet. They could have abused anything at that point. All right? Let them out now. There shouldn't even be they should make a judge watch the documentary, not the homoerotic one, unless he wants to beat it off later, that's fine. But the two of the documentaries, watch the whole entire testimony of those two. Then they should be on win every Academy Award ever if they're not guilty. All right. I mean, they admitted that they shot their parents, but they had mitigating circumstances, and I think they were more than justified. So have a judge watch two of those and go, oh, their parents were psychotic, sick, depraved, perverted lunatics. My bad, let them out now. And I hope they sue. I hope they get some kind of retribution, because I don't think it's fair when people go to prison, it's not like they were wrongly convicted, so I don't know if they can, because they did kill somebody. You're not supposed to. I mean, technically. But, I think there should be some justice for them there. I hope they get a GoFundMe. I hope they get something, and they get some kind of attempt, at a normal life for a while. I mean, you put children through hell, and this is why nobody, and especially is why we know nobody ever talked about it. They talk about it more now than they used to, but boys, I knew at least two who were molested. And it wasn't a thing that was acknowledged. It wasn't a thing that was talked about, especially with boys. Girls, it was a little more open. I'm not saying it was safe back then either for girls, but I'm saying it was a little more acceptable, a little more open, a little easier for a girl to go, if somebody was doing something or whatever. That boys just didn't even consider that. Imagine the damage done to how many men, your boys are now, my age now. Because I knew people. And it was just the thing where even as a kid, you were trained to think of it as not as much as if it happened to a girl. It's weird. I know how it sounds, but that's just how it was. So, yeah, I mean, they're my new heroes. Eric and Lylemenendez. You know what? It's a shame that you were born to such monsters. All right? And I personally now am more grateful than ever that I was taken away from the monster whose wretched womb I crawled out of after only 6 weeks with this person, because she's one of them type of people. And I was blessed to have a good family who loved me despite being the Antichrist. I mean, they tried the exorcisms. They didn't work, but hey, at least they tried, right? So, yeah, I feel guilty for them. I feel bad because I think they were a victim of the times. Nobody wanted to believe that. Nobody wanted to hear these guys were getting molested or had to do this. They must have wanted to do something, right? They must have, they could have been forced to do it. They were just covering up for it. No, I believe them. I believe them wholeheartedly. And I also do believe that sometimes victims get screwed royally. And they did. And they continue to be. And until this whole thing is over, you know what? I hope their parents are resting in hell, and I hope they get out, get the psychological help I'm sure they're going to need from being in prison, and get a better life. Okay, I'm done being positive videos and saying nice things now, because now I just feel icky. I feel like I need a shower. All right. Anyway, let me know. Like, subscribe, comment. I need it in the algorithm. My algorithm is not flowing right at all. People are being unsubscribed from me. Make sure you subscribe, turn on your post notifications. Just do everything every other YouTube tells you to do. Communicate. And leave a comment below what you want me to talk about next. Some pop culture stuff, because, like I said, just getting back into the zeitgeist. So, let me know. Damn shame.